Assalamu'alaikum Warahmatullahi Wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone. My name is Anisya Rizanika. I want to presentate my thesis is the influence of current ratio receivable turnover debt and company size on the value of cyclical consumer sector companies list on Bay for the 2018 till 2022 period. This is the table of content of our presentation. First, we will talk about introduction, theoretical review, and research method. Introduction. The first, we will talk about the background of the research. Company value is indicator important in the world business and reflecting economic how much valuable something company in the eyes of market. Uh, Increasing company value can increase the company market value or share price. One effort that can be made to increase company value is by maximizing company performance, especially in terms of operation and financial. In general, the value of share will increase when the company operational and financial aspect improve. Or, company value can mirror from market shares owned by company. This is the size of Pangestuti and Tindangan 2020. The sector non-primary consumer or consumer cyclical are one of company sector that increased significantly post the COVID-19 pandemic. Based on the data of Central Statistics Agency or BPS, Indonesia trade balance for 40 consecutive months since May 2020 has shown a surplus. According to databox katadata.co.id, Indonesia trade balance in August 2023 will reach until 3.1 billion US dollar. This value compared to August 2020 or during the initial period of the pandemic has increased by 29.17%. And this graphic shown the data of Indonesian trade balance of monthly basis from January 2020 until August 2028. Demand in the non-primary consumer sector or consumer cycle is directly proportional to economic growth. The Central Statistics Agency stated that Indonesian economic growth in 2023 will experience strengthening. Since the beginning of 2022, Indonesian economic has constantly grown by 5%. Indonesian economic growth in the third quarter of 2023 has recorded at 4.94% year-on-year. And this figure shown the growth rate from 2019 till 2023. Number of possible factors influence firms' value, that is ratio liquidity, turnover receivable, ratio solvency, and size company. Company liquidity, solvency, and receivable turnover are important factors for investor in making investment decisions. Therefore, it is important to increase these variables in a company. And the company size. Company size is one of the factors that influence company value because that are larger in size tend to find it easier to gain trust both from creditor and investor. That says from Suardika and Mustandard 2017. And this is the why we should do this research or The motivation of this research. The first one is research on second non-primary customers, still limited amount. Even though this is very important for company and investor, company can optimize this very. And the second one is the combination of variable race has never been studied before. Even though this is very important for companies and investors. Companies can optimize this variable, which will improve company performance. When company performance increase, the value of company in the eyes of market, especially in investor and creditor pool, will also increase. And the third one is we will try to find out the influence of the independent variable before the pandemic, during the pandemic, and overall. This is the research question. The first one is, does the current ratio has influence on the value of customer security sector company list on the Indonesian Stock Exchange for the 2028 till 2022 period? The second one is, does Superbottom effort has influence on the value of customer security sector company list on Indonesia? The third one is, does the to asset or DRR have an influence on the value of customer security sector companies list on the Indonesian Stock Exchange for the 28 till 2022 period? Does the company size have an influence on the value of consumer security sectors? The sectors company list in the Indonesian Stock Exchange for the 28 till 2022 period. And this is the research purpose. The first one is that we will find the influence of the current ratio on the value of customer security sector companies list on the Indonesian Stock Exchange for the 2018 till 2022 period. The influence receivable transfer of the value of consumer cyclical sector companies on the Indonesian Stock Exchange for the 2018 2022 period. The third one is the influence of the debt to asset on the value of customer security sector company list on the Indonesian Stock Exchange for the 2018 till 2022 period. And the last one is the influence to company size on the value of customer security sector company list on Indonesia Stock Exchange for the 2018 till 2022 period. The benefit of this research is for the theoretical side, it can be used as a reference and increase insight regarding the influence of the currency ratio, a currency turnover, DRR, and company size on company value, especially in customer cyclical sector companies. And for practical benefit side, the first one for the companies, this session is expected to help companies improve performance through making better financial decisions and designing business strategy. So it can be an attraction for investors to invest their capital and increase the value of company shares. For the investor, this research can be used by investors to see and assess the performance of the company before deciding to invest. And this is useful for minimizing future risk and preventing investor from losing. The second chapter, we will talk about theoretical review. Literature review about signaling theory. This theory can help in understand the process when company convey information to stakeholder. Rahman et al. 2018. This of signal in management is to provide information to investor. Company can provide signal to investor by reporting information about company performance, which will provide an overview of the company's future prospect so that it can increase company value. Company can provide signal to company usually issues report containing information related to company performance. These reports are usually in the form of the company's annual report. This is done to minimize the information gaps. When company issues an annual report and give a positive signal, to external parties, especially investor and shareholder, they will assume that the company has promising future prospects. External parties will be interested in investing in the company, so the share price will rise, and an increase in share price indirectly shows that the company has a high value compared to other companies. The literature review of the value of the company. On a company, value can be defined as market company or price market company. For company that have gone public, the value of the company can be seen from the value of its shares. Therefore, every company is competing to increase the value of its share price. Increased company value also means increased welfare of investors and shareholders. The company value can be represented by price to book value or PBV, price earning ratio or PIR, and Tobinski. In this study, researchers use Tobinski as a tool measures company value. This is because the company Tobinski is a ratio assessed from a market perspective, which can represent investor desire for the company future. The higher the Tobinski of value of a company, the higher the company value. Literature review about the variable that we use in this research is what the first one is current ratio. This ratio shows a company's ability to maximize its current asset to pay the company current liabilities that must be paid. Through the current ratio, investor can analyze how the company performed in managing its current asset. This can also be a considering for investor when investing their capital. The second one is about receivable turnover. This ratio is show how much company receivables were generated and collected during one period. Company with high receivable turnover indicated that data company manage their receivable efficiently. This ratio can be used by investors to see how effective a company in optimizing the receivable company. Third one is DIR atau debt to asset ratio. The ratio shows how the company total debt is compared to its total asset. DIR is one aspect that influences a company value in the eyes of the market. The last one is company size or firm size. The higher the size of a company, the better the funding decision, the more optimal the company value. Company size is relative to company decision in terms of funding. In general, company size influence investor assessment in investment decision. Dewi and Eka Jaya 2020. Investors tend to trust more in investing in larger companies. This is because companies are believed to be better able to optimize their investment. Therefore, it can be said that the bigger company, the greater its value in the eyes of investors. The previous research about current ratio on firm value is Animah and Susanti 2021 says that the current ratio has a negative effect to firm value. Neither the Marsha and Murtaki 2017 and Fatih et al. 2021 say that current ratio has a positive effect to firm value. And Simorangkir Caroline 2021, Ahmad et al. And Suprihati et al. Said that current ratio has no effect on firm value. Nguyen et al., Yanwati and Heniarwati 2022 says that account receivable turnover has a negative effect on firm value. Neither, albeit that et al. 2023, Handayani et al. 2022, and Maisuri and Delimunde 2018 says that account receivable turnover has positive effect on firm value. Neither Messiana et al. 2022 says that account receivable turnover has no effect on firm value. Animah and Susanti 2021 and Husna and Satya 2019 says that GIR has no effect on firm value. Neither Pratami et al. And Margono and Gardino 2021 says that DAR has a positive effect on firm value. Margono and Gardino 2021 says that firm size has no effect on firm value. Either Husna and Satria 2019 and Lumako and Terima 2017 says that firm size has a positive effect on firm's value. Next, we will talk about framework for thinking and hypothesis research. Current ratio on firm's value. In research conducted by Marsha and Murtaki 2017, it is stated that the current ratio has a significant and positive influence on company value. This research is also supported by Ivan et al. 2021, which has the same research result. However, Purba et al. 2021 in research on 40 customer goods company and various industry sectors that the current ratio has a significant and negative influence on company value. Based on the previous research, researchers formulated the following hypothesis. Is the current ratio has a positive influence on firm's value. The second one is about account receivable. Research the company can manage its receivable well. It means the company has good performance and can increase the company's value. Investors might invest their capital in the company because they think the receivable turnover has a direct relationship with the company value. This line with the research conducted by Maisuri and Delimunte 2018 that the receivable turnover has a significant and positive influence on company value. This research is also supported by the result of research by Handayani et al. 2022, Obedet et al. 2023, and Tobing et al. 2023. However, in research conducted by Nguyen et al. 2020, said that receivable turnover has a significant and negative influence on company value. So the second hypothesis is account receivable turnover has a positive influence on firm's value. The next one is about debt to asset ratio. Investors tend to choose companies that have a smaller DIR value. This is because it fears that companies that have a greater DIR value will not be able to pay their obligation. This is stated by Sofiani and Siregal 2022. Research conducted by Margono and Gatino 2021 stated that DIR has a significant and positive influence on the company value. This is supported by research conducted by Pratami et al. 2020, who state the same thing about manufacturing companies in Indonesia. So the third hypothesis is debt to asset ratio has a positive influence on firm's value. The last one is about firm size. The higher the size of company, the better funding decision, the more optimal the company value. This is stated by Swardika and Mustanda 2017. Research conducted by Lumapo and Tumiwa 2017 stated that company size has a positive and significant influence on company value. This research is supported by Husnas and Satria 2019, who researched the manufacturing company sector in Indonesia. So the last hypothesis will be firm size has a positive influence on firm value. This is the research framework of this research. There is a 4 hypothesis. The last chapter we will talk about research method. The object of this method is customer cyclical sector company list on the Indonesian Stock Exchange period 2018 till 2022. And the scope The scope of this research is limited by the current ratio, account receivable turnover, debt to asset ratio, and company size. The method that used in this research is quantitative method with a panel data for the model. And the population of this research is all over the company on sector non-primary consumer or consumer cyclical register on the IX of the 2018 till 2022 period. The sample is there is 40. The sample is to be used was taken using a purposive sampling technique, namely by considering and ensuring that the sample meets certain criteria. This is the criteria, and we will use 40 companies with the number of observation is 200. And the operational variable, there is one uh, dependent variable with 4 independent variables. The dependent variable in this research is company value that the that represent with Tobinsky, and the independent variable is current ratio, receivable return over DIR, and company size. The analysis technique. First, we will do the descriptive statistic. Descriptive statistic is an analytic method used to provide an overview of the data in the research sample. Descriptive statistics were performed before conducting regression analysis. Descriptive statistics consists of mean, median, mode, standard deviation, etc. We will use panel data regression Panel data regression is method aimed at modeling the influence of several independent variables on dependent variable. There is 3 model in panel data. The first one is common effect model, the second one is fixed effect model, and the last one is random effect model. To obtain the most appropriate panel data regression model, a model specification test is carried out first. The model specification test consists of Chow test and Hausman test. Next, we will use classic assumption test. Before testing the hypothesis, we will make sure the data is good. The classic assumption test used is the multicollinearity test. Multicollinearity test is the situation where there is a perfect or almost linear relationship between independent variable in regression model stated by Moko 2020. Multicollinearity occurs when the correlation coefficient between independent variable is more than 0.85. Meanwhile, if the correlation coefficient is less than 0.85, then multicollinearity does not occur. The last one is we will do hypothesis test. The hypothesis test that will be used in this research is t-test and coefficient of determination. T-test or partial test is usually called is the test of to see influence of the independent variable partially or individually on the dependent variable stated by Moko 2020. And the determinant coefficient is value shows how much variable in the dependent variable can be explained by the independent variable. That's it about my proposal researcher. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.